Welcome to the Luxury Code, where we decode the mindset, the marketing, and the business approach of successful luxury brokers.
Hey, welcome back to Luxury Code. Today I've got Monica Fabbio, the Fab Property Group, a 20-year veteran of luxury real estate in Austin, Texas. Monica, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. Exciting stuff. I've always learned a lot from you, and I hope I can teach some now.
Oh, well, I certainly appreciate it. I know just, having sidebar conversations with you and then, chopping it up with your coach, Jeff, he's like, she is a rock star. So I've got really 3 or 4 questions that I want to unpack in this show today. Let's start with the first one. Like, what does it take, in your opinion, to sell luxury real estate in Austin? And maybe kind of secondarily, like, how has the luxury market changed in Austin in the last 5 years to a decade?
The luxury market in Austin, and to be successful, it's extremely competitive. The last time I checked, I think there are about 14,000, probably 15,000 licensed agents. And at one point last year, I think there were about 900 listings. So you can do the math. Right. It's definitely, I would say, the top 5, maybe 10% doing the top 90 to 95% of the business. So very competitive. I think that the main attributes that you need are a huge tenacity and patience and creativity, because people may be selling and they don't quite know it yet, kind of thing. If I don't personally door knock, but I can track down almost anybody. I've lived here a long time, and then we, of course, all have our ways of finding how to get a hold of someone. Sure. And so you've just really got you've got to network, not just with your inner sphere, but you're constantly looking for opportunities, and you're constantly networking with the other luxury realtors. And it's like a dating game. You're trying to match a seller with a buyer, because a lot of the sellers with the primo properties don't want to sell, because where are they going to go? So it's interesting.
So how do you learn or teach tenacity or perseverance, or just the ability to follow through at the level that you and every other top luxury broker has to? Because you don't find a client, take a listing, make a sale on Tuesday. In many cases, it could be 18 months, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, 7 years of nurturing these relationships before they finally do something. So how do you learn that skill?
I personally feel like I was just born with a very competitive side to myself, and it's really competitive with myself, not as much other people. I've always just been a fighter through life, and have been very scrappy. I've gone from one industry to the next, and because I'm also a huge learner, I am just hungry for knowledge in all different spheres. I just kind of have been like that from day one, whether it was dance or piano or my education, even being a single mom. And I'm just scrappy. I may not look it, but I really am.
So it's interesting, Monica. I just did a survey of 100 of our top clients, and the number one attribute that they all came back with was uber competitive. That it was just something about, and some could argue that it was the growth mindset, that they're more willing to lean in to do whatever it takes. But it was that competitive nature that they had from being a kid to now being in business. But back to this whole tenacity thing, I'm curious. Most mega luxury agents I know have this insane memory. They just seem to remember everybody from 7 years ago, 2 years ago, the house, the meeting. Is it the same for you? Or maybe more specifically, how do you follow up well?
Because I'm a workaholic, I would say I'm a very, very hard worker, and I do remember faces, and I do know a lot of people here. I think that's been a huge plus for me, having gone to college here in Austin. I left, but I came back. But even the relationships I've had when I was in Dallas and Los Angeles, and how you can connect with people that way too. Oh, wow, you're from LA. I used to live there. And anyway, I've just known a lot of people, and I may not remember their name, and I'm ashamed of that. But because I'm a hard worker, back on that, nurturing your database requires more than just the belly to belly conversations, which are the best ones. but everything's big numbers, big data. And to keep up in this competitive world of real estate we're in, you've just got to set up your systems. You've got to have your follow up. And I try to get all those boxes checked before I go to bed. Oftentimes it's 1:32 in the morning, and I'll get up at 6:30 and start over. And I have to tell myself to take a break. But yeah, I guess my memory's pretty good, just not with names. And my work ethic then allows me to do more follow up maybe than some others.
Yeah, love it, love it. So let's flip to most expensive home you've ever sold. Or just tell us about a crazy deal.
Oh goodness. Well, one is I'm in the middle of right now, and while it is not consummated, I know it's going to happen.
Let's not jinx it,
just to give
Monica. Yeah, let's not jinx it. Yes, tell us.
well, let's see. Because it's so crazy right now. It used to be that if there was a $6 million property in the MLS, that was just bonkers here in Austin. We, a couple of years ago, it made just huge news. It was, I think, a $38 million property. In fact, I had a client coming in. This was right when everything went crazy, flying in on a jet to come see this said property because it had just fallen out of contract. And the guy who was under contract had lost a couple $1 million in earnest money. And so we thought, great, well, let's check it out. He gets on the jet, has to basically turn around to deal with the work matter. And we thought, it's a $38 million property. It'll be there next week. Oh, no. Within, I can't remember if it was 2 weeks or 3 weeks, closed, done, off the market.
Yes. Yes.
So it's pretty difficult. There's a client, and just to give an example of Austin, because it's now the Bel Air, and
Right.
people from different states are coming in, and it's like a candy land to them. And I had and then sellers, of course, get greedy in some cases, but you
Yes.
have to really look at it. This isn't Bel Air. This isn't Jeff Bezos' property in Seattle. I mean, it's beautiful, but come on, this is what you're asking. It's like,
Yes.
But I had a house that a big client had decided, okay, finally, after a year and a half, 2 years of looking, and it was the main house, but it had this house next to it that just we needed to get rid of, basically. So we had to take that one down. Made an offer, which this property's, I really think, 6 million on a good day. I didn't even go in it, but I'm pretty sure. And we had offered a cash deal of 15 million. Wouldn't even counter. Waited, decided, okay, we really want this other house. So then offered 25 million cash to make it go away. And they did not take the deal. And so I'm like, well, that's awesome. That was like a $60-70 million deal that it took a long time to put together. So it's pretty interesting putting together portfolios now. You might find this great house, but people want the privacy. So then they want to take down the house or the lot next to it, or tear it down. And it's just more complicated. But
Yes.
the numbers are staggering.
How have you, first of all, I mean, it's so interesting. I was with a friend recently from Austin, and he was like, yeah, we now live in like Austangeles, right? Like it's just Austin, LA, Austin, San Francisco. How has that altered your marketing? I'm just curious. I mean, I know, you're in our network, your brokerage's network. I imagine agent referrals are a big deal, but what else have you done to sort of market yourself as the go-to person for, the luxury clientele coming to the area?
We do lots of things. I do nurture my relationships with agents and all these groups I'm in, some of them that are national groups, including Tom Ferry
Yes.
from training. But we network a lot with the California, the New York, where a lot of our traffic's coming from, Chicago, Florida, and then even within Texas, there's quite a bit of traffic. So to me, print advertising we still do it.
Mm-hmm.
We will continue to do it, but it's really more of a listing tool. And we then will show stats on more targeted marketing via videos and social media, and then also blast various agents in various cities because we've built up databases and friendships. So And then in terms of just being, the Fab Property Group, we want everyone to have a Fab experience. So we try to go that little extra mile, the tipping point book,
Yeah.
where we have a Fab Faves map that's a really nice bound thing. And then we put it on the website. And we really, really want to become friends and family with anyone and everyone. I love meeting new people. It's the most fun part of our job,
Yes.
99.9% of the time. And I tell them, you're stuck with me. And by the way, here are all the music venues, and come with us to this concert, and you can go golf with my boyfriend because I'm horrible. And so we just try to give a Fab experience, like a
Yes.
concierge level of service, where we're really in it with them, whether it be hotels, events, all the vendors we can refer them to. So
Well, it's so cool that you do all that and you do it in like high volume, like 63 closed transactions last year. So that's a lot of friends, a lot of venues, a lot of golf with your boyfriend. Just thinking about how you keep all that together.
This is the time where the very best separate themselves from the rest and drive their business to the next level. This is exactly what we teach at Blueprint. It is the playbook for top agents, for people like yourself that are looking to elevate themselves out of this market and take control. It's gonna be myself and a bunch of top coaches and a bunch of top clients revealing their best practices so you can plug and play and grow your business. Just go to tomferry.com/blueprint and enter the promo code Blueprint15 to get 15% off your ticket price. I can't wait to see you there.
But I want to switch gears. One of the questions I love asking people like yourself is, when you look back over your career, what were the iconic moves that you made that made you who you are today in business? What were some of those moments, those decisions, those actions that you took that propelled you to this moment?
Well, I think the first action is, even if you're starting day one, is to just live and breathe what you want to be, and perception's reality. So I knew I wanted to be a luxury agent. Of course, you've got to get a little bit of experience under your belt and have people trust you and know that you can do it. But for me, after a couple of years I just really drove into training. I was asked to join Capital City Sotheby's when they first came to Austin in
Yeah.
2006. And not only was I invited to go and be a luxury agent there, because I started having some success in that area, but I got to be a financial partner. So on my business card, not only was it Sotheby's, new to Austin, very luxurious, but it said, partner. And I think people just really, that was a huge plus to my, not just level of experience, just my whole reputation. And then I kept that reputation by doing the right thing and working hard for people and fighting for them. And it just snowballs from there. I think luxury is one of those things. You've just got to, every opportunity you have to show, and it's not about showing off, but it's just like, look, what we can do, what we do. Look at our marketing. It's all high quality. And yes, we have the connections, and we're out there, we're finding properties that aren't on the market, and you're really in the know.
Yeah.
But you have to pretend first, right? Until
It's so interesting that everyone I interview says something similar. Like, in the beginning, you have to just sort of make that decision. Like, I'm going into luxury. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to learn the product, the people, the lifestyle, the language, everything that's like just slightly different. And then once you have it, you're kind of in the club, if you will. And then it does take, like the one thing you have: work ethic, hustle, grind, right? Determination. And you clearly show that. But now here you are 20 years later. When you look back, was there anything over the last few years, a decision that you made, a marketing piece that you put out, something that just gave you an extra splash? Could have even been an iconic listing.
I think it would be a listing, for me, a couple of exact, I can't really, all of us are under NDAs,
Yes.
it's like,
Yes.
oh, what can you say, what can you not say
Yeah.
anymore?
Let's just say it was
But
a really
I
big
just
house. Yeah.
but I think, when you have a listing, you're going to communicate with buyers, and then hopefully get to represent some of those buyers. And I was really fortunate in the last 3 years to capture some great buyers out of different states. And if you do a good job for them, the referrals start coming, and you've just got to really pay attention to all those relationships. And it's not just some of my biggest referrals came from very innocuous places. It could be
Right.
somebody who worked for someone, or, the assistant at some CPA's office and knows something about a client they're friends with. And so you just treat everybody nicely in the sandbox. And that's including your fellow realtors. That's so important that should be collaborative. So,
Right.
and
Right.
I know some of us, it seems like it could be competitive, and I'm sure once in a while I have a little streak because I am competitive, but I'm truly competitive against myself. And
Yes.
I was a one person sports person, even ballet versus tennis. I would have felt like I was disappointing my partner. So
Right.
I compete against myself.
I love it. I love it. So last question, what are the biggest challenges you're facing today and how are you overcoming them?
Well, there are a couple of challenges. One, as I mentioned, is the lack of inventory, and how do you get around that? How do you get a seller to sell when you can't find them something on the other side necessarily, or it's not easy to?
Yeah.
Um, and we've had so many multiple offers. If you're representing buyers, it can it can get you're weary, and they're weary, but the market always comes out as it should. And I think once they're worn out, maybe 3 offers in, they start to listen to you a little more and
Right.
either change the price point down or spend more money. Um, and I think the other challenge, really, it's been so fast for so long here. I think all of us who are doing a lot of business, it's just to take care of yourself. I think there's a lot of burnout right now. I know we're all super fortunate and extremely thankful. You have to make hay while the sun shines. And I completely get that. But I just literally for Easter weekend went to the beach. And for the first time, I didn't check out completely, but I just really needed it. And I came back, and I mean, I'm already back in it, but at least I felt a little more creative and refreshed. And so I think we all have to remember to do that, because if you're a workaholic, you just never stop, and then you start losing that drive and that creativity.
Yeah. I think you can appreciate, especially on that last point, as I get to talk to so many people around the world. And I always ask one question, which one do you need more of, time or deals? I'd be curious for you. Which one, time or deals?
Well, that's so tough.
Don't say both. I know it's different.
I'm like, I'm doing double this year.
Yes.
Well, I think, I always have to question, why are you doing all this? Like, what's the point if you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor? And
Yes.
none of us are promised the next day. So I'm going to Croatia for 16 days in June.
Congratulations. So it sounds like time is the answer. Even though everybody wants both, if you could only have one, I find that the busiest agents all say, I just want a little more time, right? Time to breathe, time to relax, a little self-care, a little time with my, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, yada, yada, yada. Because once you've got the deal machine going, the deal machine's going.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that clearly
Yeah,
with you.
it's true.
Yeah.
There are a few clients who really just want you, but you try to train them way ahead of time,
Yes.
because we all deserve some sort of a life. But I think really we probably think we're a little more vital than we may be for deals to happen. And I've found anytime I have gone on vacation, I'm usually getting on a plane and I get about 5 referrals. So if you want more business, you go on vacation. And the last time I took a vacation was a long one was I went to Costa Rica last summer. I was literally in the rainforest on a bridge tour with maybe 8 people. Dallas person looking in Austin in the neighborhood, one of them where I specialize. So in the rainforest on a bridge, I got a referral. And then walking down the path at the resort where we were staying, there was another California. Well, everybody's moving to Austin, but I'm thinking you can still do deals when you're on a bridge in Costa Rica.
That's it. It's funny. Like, I mean, as a veteran, like in the old days when listings didn't sell in 14 seconds or 14 days, the old joke was, if you have a bunch of stale listings, what should you do? Book first class tickets, non-refundable, get a hotel room, get on the plane. And the second you do, offers start coming in, right? It's instantaneous. Love
Yeah,
it.
so June will be my best month.
Right, I know. I'm excited for you. So doubling your business this year, lots of good stuff covered on this session, Monica. So if somebody wanted to reach out and they wanted to find you, what's the best way? Is it on Instagram? Is it via email? Go to your website. If somebody's got more questions about Austin and they just want to chat with you about high-end real estate, how do they reach you?
Well, the Monica at thefabpropertygroup.com. Our Instagram handle is the same, at thefabpropertygroup.com. And surprise, the website is
The Fab. Yes.
thefabpropertygroup.com.
Love it. Love it. Good branding. All right. Well, Monica, thank you so much for your time today. And for everybody out there watching and listening, make sure you follow her. And if you got questions, you can ping her there. You can certainly leave it in the comments here. As always, we appreciate you and all that you do. I'll look forward to seeing you at an event soon. I'll say hi to Jeff, your super coach, coming up. Big shout out to Jeff Mays. Monica, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. We'll hopefully see you in Anaheim for a
All
day
right.
anyway.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you soon. Take care.